movie lovers. Welcome to Xanadu. It's Elizabeth. Hello. Tonight I am going to be reviewing another movie, as you can tell by the title. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing a movie that I actually just recently saw called TiMER from 2009, and it's honestly like one of my favorite movies right now. It was just great, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about it. And there will be spoilers, so a lot of spoilers, because I cannot give a full movie review if I don't talk about everything. So please forgive me. If you don't want any spoilers, then just don't watch this, or go watch the movie and then watch this. Okay, so first off, I guess I'll start with what it's about. And some could say that it's a futuristic movie, but it's not. It was made in 2009, and it was in present day. And there was only just one little difference. Since 1998 or something, people could get what is called a timer on your wrist. And it tells you the exact day, hour, minute, second when you're going to meet the love of your life, your soulmate. If you get a timer and your timer's blank, it doesn't say anything, that means the love of your life has not gotten a timer yet. The movie is a love story, but it's not really like love story. It's a love story about love itself, really. It's about this woman named Una. She's turning 30, and she has not met her one yet, and everyone else around her has gotten their one. Their timers have countdown, and hers is blank. And she's frustrated.
Oh, see you next time, Una. She's one of our recurring customers.
She lives in the timer. Her mom is a sweet mom, but very kind of controlling. She raised them to kind of live by the timer.
So where's Brian?
He's not my one.
Well, Brian was never right for you anyway. We all knew that.
Tell it, Marion. Amen.
Steph, baby, don't make me come after you in your life.
Sorry.
And so Una can't live her life. She's constantly waiting, because she doesn't want anything to do with any other guy who has a timer, because then he's not her one. So why be with anyone who who has a timer when it's gonna end in heartbreak anyway? So she goes after guys who don't have timers, and if they like her, she makes them get a timer and to see if they're her one. And she's usually not very successful. And she has a sister, and who also has of course, almost everyone has a timer. And her sister, though, is like the opposite of Una. She's a little bit of a bitch. She speaks her mind, and she only goes after guys who have timers because they're just fun. She just likes having one-night stands with guys who have timers, because then there's no emotional attachment or anything. She just has fun and then leaves, because she knows exactly when she's going to meet her love of her life, and it's when she's going to be 43. They're pretty close sisters. So anyway, things are kind of not going very well for Una, and she just needs to break out of her shell and stop living in the world of the timer. She needs to love on her own, not love someone just because the timer tells her to. She needs some fun. She needs to be unleashed, and that's when she meets a much younger but charming kid named Mikey.
I see your timer's blank.
And?
Nothing. You're sweating your future though, right? It's a shame, because you could have a much more exciting present if you really wanted.
Keep that in mind.
And so, they have this huge age difference, and not huge, but he's really laid back and funny and not really educated 22-year-old dude who lives with 4 roommates, and he's a drummer in a band. He really likes her, and she decides to have a one-night stand with him because she knows he's interested, and she wants to kind of just let loose because she's going crazy over the timer, and she's very, very lonely, and she just wants to do something that she knows that she would never do in a million years. And the problem with Mikey, though, is that he has a timer, and he's gonna meet the love of his life in 4 months. They have this kind of fling together, and with her thinking that she's not, that it's fine because she's not gonna be with him in 4 months, but it's also crushing her because she doesn't understand why she's with him if she's not gonna be with him in 4 months. And so basically it's about her and Mikey, but mostly Una's life journey. It's mostly about her. And let me get to who it stars. It stars Emma Caulfield from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And she does an amazing job. There are scenes in this movie where she does so good at being awkward. When she feels awkward, I feel awkward, and I hate it. There's just like all these scenes in this movie where I'm like freaking out. And it also stars John Patrick Amadori, the guy. The guy. The guy.
You know, the guy. The guy.
Oh yeah, the guy. Fuck.
Yeah. Chelsea, you're the only one that gets what the heck I'm talking about. Okay, long story short, I'm seeing this dude everywhere. Yeah. By the way, this video is dedicated to Chelsea. Hi, Chelsea. And John Patrick Amadori does an amazing job as Mikey. The differences between them are huge because she's more mature and he's not really. But he has a lot of moments where he's wise and right about certain things. And he's just fun and laid back and kind of just really silly. I thought they had good chemistry. And it was just so weird seeing like Anya, with this guy, because I kept waiting for Xander to come along. They both do a really good job as these characters, and Mikey gets Una. He sees the little person in her that she needs to let out, and he just wants to have fun with her. And after she sleeps with him, and her sister's like, these guys never want to see you again. That's how it goes. Don't even think about him. Just move on. Just like, okay. And so she thinks that he's not going to want anything to do with her afterwards, but he does.
Hey.
Wow! Ah, motherfucker!
You just hit me in the face.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to see you again.
He snaps her out of it, because she's in a daze, and he lets out the more free-spirited and woman in her, where she's able to just stop thinking about anything else and just enjoy this time, this really beautiful bonding, connecting time with this guy. And there's also the guy, one of the guys from Wrong Turn is in this movie, and he is interested in Una's sister.
What's your name, soldier?
Dan.
Dan the man. I'm Steph.
And they sort of have a thing, so everything kind of seems like everything's going pretty well, but Una is worried because even though she's having a lot of fun with Mikey and she's spending all of her time with him, the differences between them are kind of getting in the way, and she is the one that is actually making their relationship not work very well, because he doesn't, she thinks that, she's just having some fun until he shows her that his timer is fake.
My timer.
What about it? Oh my god!
Whoa, guys, no, it's fake. Look, see, it just 6 on.
It's fake? You're not zeroing out? You don't have a timer at all?
No, I don't.
And that he lied to her, basically. And I loved the scene where he confesses himself that the timer is fake, and that, you know, he's like, well, you said yourself you're different with timerless guys, so don't you think that you and I got to know each other, you know, a little better? She's like, yeah, but you were lying to me the whole time. And, you know, they make up, but there was a little bit of strain there. But then they kind of get closer, because then there's a possibility that maybe if he gets a timer, he might be her one. But he is really against the timer. Like, he wants nothing to do with it, you know. He's not really sure if it works. He doesn't really care. He doesn't want to conform, you know, because you become of age to get a timer when you're 14, and you're kind of forced to get one. And he just didn't want to get one, because he falls in love with her, and he wants her to love him and to just live like a timer-free life and not let the timer tell her who to love. And she's really confused, you know. It was so powerful when, you know, because she's about to leave, and
Say I get a timer, and it says that me and you are supposed to be together forever and ever. That'll satisfy you, right?
Yes.
You're gonna trust a little piece of plastic over what I can tell you right now.
Oh, you're not telling me anything.
I'm telling you that I love you.
Well, I don't know what that means.
And when she said that, I was like, you know, this one, she's so lost still. She's still trying to find herself, and
No. Your problem isn't that I can't give you a guarantee, it's that you can't give me one.
this movie has great messages in it, and it's kind of like, this thing shouldn't exist. And the thing I love about the chemistry between Una and Mikey is that a couple days after, a day or two after she meets him, she decides to go to his work and pick him up. I just love it when she's all like,
Hey, time to get off.
What?
Do you want me to repeat it?
Yes, into the loudspeaker if you don't mind.
Believe me when I tell you, this is your one shot. So make it count.
Now, I get off now.
I just thought that was so funny. And she goes to his apartment, and she realizes that, you know, she's not used to this, and this is a bad idea. You know, he didn't even really know her name, you know, he's a musician, she's...
Orthodontist?
Oh, far out, like a dentist?
Yeah. Only an orthodontist.
Cool.
And I love it when and so she leaves, she doesn't do anything with him, and he's like, dude.
You know, maybe this was a bad idea.
No. This is a great idea. It's up there with gravity, or, you know, cold fusion, or what have you. It's a really, really good idea.
But he goes to her work. He's just like, I think you're cool, and I think we should hang out, you know. And she's like, I'm looking for my one, and you're not him. So, you know. But of course, she ends up seeing him at one of his like little concerts, you know. And he's like, oh, you're here, and you know. And she's like, okay, fine, you know. So that's how they get together. They have so many great lines in this movie. The whole world around the timer was done so well. And each character was done so well, and I just love the dinner scene, and when she takes him to her family Thanksgiving dinner. And it's such a complex scene, because he's happy about it. He's just calm, laid back, smiling.
Oh, sí, por supuesto.
Just like, oh, you know, and she's nervous as hell. She is kind of ashamed of him, you know. She lies about where they met, and she's just so awkward. And I love it when they ask him what his band's name is. What is it? It's something really stupid. It's like,
What's your band called again?
Did you say upchuck?
Chuck Beef.
I mean, why name your band that? I'm just glad that his band in real life does not have the word beef in it. But in the end, she goes through a lot more in her journey. Mikey has opened up her eyes a lot more, and she thinks she knows what she wants. She thinks that she might be in love with him. She thinks that, you know, she just loves being more free without all this crap. And even though her mom's worried about her and all this stuff, she's deciding whether maybe instead of making try to get Mikey to get a timer, maybe she can get her timer removed and just be free, you know, to not live by it and to be with him if she wants. She decides to get her timer removed. Her and her sister go to get their timers removed. Her sister gets hers removed, but then Una's timer comes on and starts counting down, and it says 5 hours. So the love of her life, whoever it may be, and it gives you the question, is it Mikey? Did he get a timer, or is it someone else? And she just couldn't. You know, she had been waiting so long for this to happen, and so she couldn't just throw that away. That would be too much. But within the 24 hours, she just stays in bed and doesn't move. She, you know, you could say she was scared. You could say she was scared. Maybe it wasn't Mikey. Maybe she was just nervous, or maybe she didn't know what she felt. And at her birthday party, though, Mikey's there, and the guy that her sister is technically kind of dating is there. They're all there. She finally goes, and she finds out that the guy, Dan the man, who is dating her sister, Steph, he got a timer, and he, not Mikey, is Una's soulmate. And that broke my heart, because we all know that Mikey never would have gotten a timer. And he saw the way she looked at him, and he just knew it was over. And he leaves, and she's trying to figure out what to do, and her sister's mad, and Dan, he's confused, you know. He got it for Steph. Now that we know who Una's soulmate is, she has to make a choice, whether, you know, kind of like, does she go along and leave Mikey, or does she do what she just wants to do? But deep down, if you find your soulmate, basically in the story, it's sort of like she's gonna end up with that guy, Dan, you know, one way or another. And her and Mikey, they weren't soulmates. That's the thing about the story. They weren't soulmates. They weren't meant to be together forever. He was more just part of her journey. And at that time, when her timer went off, their sweet chapter had been over. And she goes to Mikey to try to say, no, I pick you. Look, I got it removed for you. I'm not going to just walk into the sunset with some stranger. And he knew, though, that it wouldn't work, and that it was too late. And he asks her,
A year from now, are we together?
and she says,
A year is a long time.
See, for me, the answer is yes. Of course, without a doubt, we are together.
and it's just so sad because he wants to be with her, but he knew that it was over, and she wasn't in love with him like he was in love with her. One of the messages in the film that I really, really liked was, even though it wasn't really a happy ending, you know, for me, because I wanted her to be with Mikey. I wanted them to be happy, but they weren't gonna work. You know, they weren't, you know, like Buffy and Angel or anything. They were just, he was just a part of her journey, and that their chapter was over. She thought she was in love with him. She, you know, things were more simpler when he had a timer, or so-called, and she thought that, you know, she was just free. She was just there, and all she felt was her emotions for him, and that's all that mattered. And then, you know, once again, the timer screwed things up, but she realizes that he like matured her for love. He like prepared her for love, and she was able to really find herself in the end. And she was able to even recognize what love felt like, because she felt something strong with Mikey, but he wasn't her one, you know? And if she thinks that a year is too long, is really long, then they weren't gonna work anyway. But one of the messages in this film that I love is that every heartache, every broken heart, every good thing, every bad thing that happens to us, all the people that we run into and have an amazing time with, and then it's over. And whether you're happy about it or just okay about it, or you're brokenhearted about it, that it's all worth it, because those people and those events and all that heartache and him just being in her life for that short of time shaped her for who she ended up to be. All this stuff shapes us for who we are today. She ends up meeting with Dan at the end, and she realizes that she might have a connection with him, because technically he is her soulmate, so she's gonna have a connection with him, you know what I mean? I had to watch this movie twice because the ending was so confusing to me, because I also hated it really made it look like that, you know, Mikey gets nothing, you know? She gets her soulmate, and he doesn't get what he wants. He's just left all alone. But he was kind of saved from even a more horrible heartbreak, because if they were together and Steph and Dan, her sister and the other guy, were together, everything was peachy, sooner or later Una would have feelings for Dan and realize that she wasn't really in love with Mikey as he was with her, and that would have gone to hell. So he taught her things, and he felt a strong love probably for the first time. You know, it's just a really great film, and I love the score. The movie's music is so cool. It's so cute, and I love the ticky sounds and the TikTok sounds, and it really made the movie. And everyone kept saying that this movie was depressing and that the ending was terrible. I'm watching it and I'm laughing. Yeah, I did cry. There was some really moving and romantic parts. There were some really awkward moments. There was some really sad moments, drama moments, but that's what makes a movie a good movie. I laughed. This is a romantic comedy. There are so many parts in this movie that I just laughed my head off, and that I thought were adorable, and I thought were really sad, and I thought were smart. It's a really thought-provoking film, and it really hits you differently. You know, I really have to, the second time I watched it, I really was able to get a full opinion. Mikey wasn't one of those people where she would regret being with him. He was just part of one of her chapters in her life that was shaping her for who she really needed to be. It really raises the question, you know, would you want to know who your soulmate is? You know, the superficial and crazy world of everyone having a timer, and anyone who doesn't have, you know, it just creates all this crap and conflict, and everyone's living in this fantasy and just living by the timer, when you know when you're in love. You don't need a stupid, you know, thing to go off to tell you when that person is for you. And I have to say, everybody who acted in this film were incredible. It's just a really sweet, different, not-in-your-face, thought-provoking love story about love and this woman's journey on finding out who she is. And, you know, this person who just kind of runs into her, you know, runs into her life, and even though he's there for a short time, he forms her, he lets her loose, you know. She finally feels something, and she's done with the timer in the end, you know. But yeah, I did cry at the end. The ending really killed me. It was just really cute, different, and original film. I really recommend every single person who is watching this video right now, I really recommend you guys see this movie. There's just so many moments in this film where it really makes you giggle and it really makes you feel something and it really makes you think, and I'm just really glad that I watched it, because when I first started watching it, I thought it was going to be depressing, and I didn't think that I was going to like it as much as I did. But even though I didn't know exactly what I thought about it, I just knew that I loved it and I had to buy it, and so I did. And it's really sweet, it is romantic, and it's funny. It's a great movie to watch with your friends or your family, and it's just a really great, open-minded film that is about love, human connection, you know. And if we would let technology like that take away our own feelings, basically, because Una was so shut down. He tells her he loves her and she doesn't even know what that means. She doesn't know if she feels anything. All she wants is just a guarantee of who the heck is gonna love her forever and who she's supposed to be with, because she's so tired of waiting. So yeah, that's TiMER. You guys really need to see this film. It's amazing. It's definitely worth a watch. The ending will definitely open your mind and break your heart, but in the end you realize that it was for the best, and you have to just think of it a certain way so you don't cry your eyes out, you know. But so yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and if you have any movies that you would want me to review, then just comment down below and tell me which movie you would want me to review. So yeah, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my Facebook, my Twitter, my Ivy account, everything. You gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. So yeah, and go watch TiMER. It'll really warm your heart. Namaste, and remember, you are enough. You are so enough. It's unbelievable how enough you are. Bye.
I'm talking about the girl's boobs that like sway out towards her arms. That's weird. It's like a lazy eye or something. Like, which one do I look at? You know, unless like they're really far away and it looks normal. Then you wave a few bills and they come on over and it's like, hey, which one do I look at?